Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. The topic today is how to learn things faster and smarter and also easier. This was requested by I think one or two people, but I think it's also a very interesting topic to talk about. So I'll give it to you from my perspective and how I did it and also how I believe it would be easier for you as well. The first thing, depending on what you're trying to learn, trying to get into your head, is to immerse yourself in the topic as much as possible. Usually, I've seen that when people are trying to learn something, they allocate 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes a day to the actual thing. The issue is they tend to do it once a week, so that by the next Monday, when you're trying to do it again, it's completely lost from your head, you've lost interest. You don't remember the other things you think, therefore it is quite difficult. I heard this many other times before I started learning German, that it was very difficult. How could you possibly learn German? It's very easy if you just stick to it every single day. Never forget that the internet is free. I think that people forget that, not even half joking. It's completely for free. It's always at your fingertips. You always have it, whether your phone or your tablet or your computer. You can always be connected. Use it. It's a great resource. Everything that humans have ever learned about ever is on the internet, and it's free, and you should use it. It's one of the easiest ways to learn anything, and it's also how I learned German and French extremely quickly and easily, because once again, the internet is free, and you should use it. Periodic repetition is absolutely wonderful. Every 3 to 4 hours, now, the things that I'm going to tell you in this video aren't difficult, but if you tell yourself that they're difficult, you're not going to get them done. If you make an excuse, if you say, I don't have the time, we all have the time. There's no way on this planet that you don't have the time. It could be when you first wake up. It could be when you're on the bus or train to work. It could be as you're walking to work. It could be as you're on your lunch break, as you're going back home, there's so much time throughout our day. If you really want to do something, you'll do it. That should be the entire point of this entire video. If you really want something, you can do it. It's not difficult at all. Just a matter of sticking to it. The issue is that other people have not stuck to it and they failed, and then they tell you that it's difficult, and then you can't get it done because you have in your mind, well, this person also couldn't do it, so why would I try and do it myself? Periodic repetition. Every 3 to 4 hours, go back over the thing that you learned before. It will help you out immensely, and you'll get it into your head so much. What I used to do, especially when I was learning German, is that I used to go over things so much that I got annoyed with myself for going over the things. It's like imagine picking up, I don't even know, I have nothing in my room. Imagine picking up like your phone and unlocking it, and then unlocking it again. And then unlocking it again, like you get annoyed because you're like, I know how to unlock it. It's kind of that same exact thing. You'll know the topic and the words or the thing that you're trying to learn so quickly over the repetition that it'll become annoying to you to try and learn it over again. Like, why would I need to relearn that? Because I already know it. And that's the point where you realize it clicks. Oh, I already know it because I've been going over this so many other times before. Along with this as well, it's the daily backtrack that I find the most interesting. If I learn something on a Monday, every 3 to 4 hours, go over it. I'm not talking about a huge, extensive go over for like an hour. Good 5 minutes. What you learned at that point earlier, go over it again. Learn a couple of words and learn a couple of sentences, whatever you've been trying to learn. Go over it again. On Tuesday, learn something brand new. But make sure to take 5 minutes to go over what you learned on Monday. You have to keep backtracking over and over and over. Even on Fridays, go back over the exact same week all over again. You'll realize, you'll get annoyed because you go, I know these things, but then you'll also get happy because you know these things. It's like I was, one of the really easier ways to do this, especially with language learning, and I say language learning because it's one of the things that I've really pushed myself into. I guess you can also do this for finance as well, especially if you're trying to learn financial terms or other things like that, is you don't have to start out like a hurricane. It doesn't have to be something completely crazy. It can be very small things. Learn how to say hello. My name is. I come from, or I am from. I am. Learn a couple things per day. Learn 4 new things the next day and go over those same exact things. It's this constant repetition that will really get you there. And even more so as you move forward in the topic that you're trying to also learn, whether it be language or otherwise, You'll know exactly what people are talking about because you've gone over it so many times. It's kind of the same exact thing with the cryptocurrency space, like learning what SHA-256 is. 256? SHA-256 is. If you don't know what that is, then you should learn about it as well because it's also very important in the cryptocurrency space. Do not be afraid to write things down. This is a very big issue for a lot of people. I've had teachers before in the past who told me that I shouldn't write things down. I know that sounds crazy because their idea was that I should hear it or see it on the board and immediately absorb it. If I'm not absorbing it, then I'm clearly not learning or I'm not putting as much effort forth as possible to be able to learn it. That's insane. Write things down. Humans are used to writing things down and we associate the actual movement of our fingers with the words and the stuff that we are also learning as well. If you learn something, if you find it important, have a pen and pad, something paper next to you and write it down. Don't put it into your phone. You can also put it into your phone, but humans don't associate the movement of their thumbs with words. We associate the movement of actual letters like that, and that's what causes us to remember certain topics that we were trying to learn before. Do not be afraid to make mistakes. This is probably, it should have been rule number 1 at the very top, but it's here. When we are learning something, especially a language, it becomes very difficult because sometimes we are afraid of it could be sounding stupid, it could be making mistakes, being made fun of, a plethora of things. If you don't make mistakes, you won't know what you have to correct. If you can find some really good friends, whether they are study partners or someone who knows said language, talk to them in that language or about that topic and have a discussion about it. And if you make a mistake, don't be embarrassed, don't go red in the face, don't shut down. Just understand at that moment you are learning what your mistake is and you won't make it again. You'll know exactly what the mistake is because that it causes like an etch in our memory. And we remember how to pronounce something, how to put more emphasis on something. How if we're talking about the fossilization of carbon products, you know, you'll get what mistake you made because you don't want to put yourself in that precariously embarrassing situation once again. Do not be afraid to make mistakes. It is better for you to make mistakes over the course of an entire year than your entire life. Imagine you're trying to learn Spanish or French, and instead of really hitting it hard and making sure that you made constant mistakes to really fine-tune what you were doing, 30 years later, you're living in Spain and you can't say, hola, como estes? Like people look at you like you're completely insane because you didn't take the time to make those mistakes. Don't be afraid to put accents on things. It's so many little things. Don't be afraid of sounding dumb. Because if you have anyone who is laughing at you or making fun of you during your process of trying to learn something, kick them out of your life. They're not for you. A good friend is going to make sure that not only are you making mistakes, but you fix them and they help you fine-tune everything along the way. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. This goes for learning a language, learning math, science, geography. Don't forget, internet, it's free. Use podcasts, use songs. You know how many songs I used to listen to all the time when I was learning French because it helps you to learn the rhythm of the language, what it sounds like. Usually when a lot of people hear French, they can't differentiate the actual sentences because everything is kind of linked together in French. S's are linked together with other words and it kind of causes, this is why French sounds the way that it does. When you listen to the words of a song, especially, here's a really good one. When you love a song so much, you kind of know the lyrics. We all know at least one language, one song in a different language that we don't know, but you can mouth and mimic the words kind of accordingly to what you heard before. If you learn the lyrics of that song, you'll know exactly that all these things are different words. And then you'll learn the words specifically, and then you'll learn the entire song. Like you'll know an entire song in a different language, what it means, how to sound it out. It's really insane. Use free things as much as possible. I don't know how many of you know this. When I was younger, I remember I had a test. And one of the ways that I actually learned how to do it, do you know the cartoon called Animaniacs? There's one of the characters, I think his name is Yakko Warner? One of the characters. He sings a song about geography. It goes, it's kind of weird to do this. It goes United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador, 2, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Venezuela, Honduras, Guyana, and still Guatemala, Bolivia, then Argentina, Ecuador, Chile, Brazil, Costa Rica, Bolivia. I don't have to sing the entire, I know the whole song. It's because it's the repetition of the song inside your head. Like, why do I know that song came out when I was like 6 or 7? And I remembered it even during other tests that I had, like name all the countries in the world. Like, I could do it because of that one song. I think songs are very powerful depending on what it doesn't matter what you're trying to learn. They'll always be there for you. There are songs for everything. There are songs about science. There are songs about the periodic table of elements. I remember in high school, one of my teachers was a little aggressive, and he wanted us to learn the entire periodic table of elements. And one of the easiest way to do it was to learn a song about it as well. Songs are out there. If you can, and I suggest you do so, make learning a habit. Once again, if it really means something to you and you really want to do it, make it a habit. Wake up to it as a song. Turn on your radio in the morning to something that pertains to that particular thing that you are trying to learn. Listen to a podcast. Listen to something on the train. It can be a song, it can be a TV show, it can be a movie, it can be a whole bunch of things. If you are at home or on the train or on your tablet and you have Netflix and you're trying to learn Japanese or you're trying to learn something scientific, watch a documentary on it in that language or about that topic. There's really no need for people to not be able to do something in this day and time. Think about that. Everything that humanity has learned is now on the internet. It's there for you for free, completely free. Even the other thing I was talking about the other video with Coursera. If you want to take courses for free from Brown, Yale, and Harvard, they're on Coursera, completely for free. I would recommend, if you can do so, this is the more difficult part. I got lucky on this one, is to have a study partner. One of my very close friends, I won't say her name. We lived in Paris together, and she became my French buddy. We were both from the States, but we spoke to each other only in French. There were no breaks. The first week was very difficult. I'm not going to say it was a walk in the park, but it got to the point that by the second semester of us, we were in this French university. The second semester of our French courses, we were speaking completely in French. Non-stop the entire time. Our jokes and everything. Watched French TV shows, French movies, everything. We watched movies completely in French and understood every single part of it. And this is kind of how you know that it really worked out for you. I remember during the first day of our French class, we made sure to sit in the front because why not? We got the first seats that were there. Everyone else came into the class and everyone had been taking French for years and years through university and stuff like that. We were the only ones talking in French, and we said hello to the teacher in French and how's everything going. We had a full conversation with her, and she expected everyone else to be on that level, but no one else was because no one else had spent their time in France speaking French. I guess it's also a passion of mine. I'm sure you heard me say France and Paris about a bajillion times, but if you can have someone to study with, it really accelerates things. If you are trying to learn something, especially for a test, try to find someone who's there with you and can do the same exact things with you. It makes things a lot easier and they go a lot faster. This is why I titled this video. It's going to be titled, How to Learn Things, what does it say? Faster and smarter and easier. It's not that it takes you 4 years to learn a language. You can learn a language in 6 months if you really wanted to. It's about compressing the topic into your head. Once again, we all have extra time. Unless you are, I can't even think of a job where there's no time. There's always a couple of hours per day. If you're exhausted by the end of your workday, then by all means, please don't exert yourself any further. But if you find yourself with extra time when you get home and you're sitting around watching TV or watching The Simpsons or just looking at random, I don't know, whatever people do to waste their time, and you could be learning something, I'd rather learn something. I think it's a lot more fun. I think it's a lot more interesting. Another thing is to say stuff out loud or to write things down. And I'm saying it twice. It's because humans don't remember typing, especially on a computer, or tapping with your thumbs as a way to remember something. We remember the movements of the actual letters through the movements of our fingers. Saying stuff out loud is very important. Same exact thing when it comes to you being able to make mistakes. Another really easy way is to I don't know if it's for you trying to learn something in school. Have a discussion with your teacher. Hopefully your teacher is not a complete jerk and they want to have this discussion with you so that if you do make mistakes on something, they can correct you on said topic. And even furthermore, you'll remember during your test, if you start writing the incorrect thing, you'll remember your teacher's voice saying, no, that's not what it is, and you'll remember the actual correct thing. It's just about taking the time out of your day and out of your life to want to learn something. Yeah, that's all I have really much written down. And yeah, it's not difficult, I promise you. If someone else tells you that it's difficult, it's because they found it difficult because they gave up too early. You can learn anything very quick. You can learn a language. There's a guy on YouTube. I don't know if he's still making videos. This was early YouTube. I think his videos were how to learn a language in 3 months. And people were like, there's no way you can do that. It's possible. He immersed himself as much as possible. As his channel became bigger and he had a bit more money, he was able to actually travel to other countries, which also, made the channel bigger. But he was able to be in these places and just talk to these people and kind of learn these things very rapidly. You get to the point, after a month of me learning German, remember my head was hurting all the time. I woke up, listened to German radio. I would take the radio into the shower and I would just hear German constantly over and over. As I'm going to school and I'm riding on my bike, I would listen to German music or German podcasts. When I got to school, it was 4 hours of intensive German. That was also the German. When I got out, I was talking with my friends. We'd talk in broken German, but it was still German. It was understandable German that when we would go buy things and buy food, people still understood us. As I'm going home on my bike, guess what I had in my ears once again? It was the German music. I would then watch a German movie. Mine might have been a bit excessive, but I learned German in if you want to smash it all together, in 6 months. Anyway, yeah, it's not difficult. It's just about doing it. And I would even go further to say, during this period in our lives right now where many people aren't able to leave their homes, this might be the perfect time for you to learn brand new things. Why not? If you're home, imagine by the time you're able to leave your home in X amount of months, or you have more freedom, or whatever's currently going on has passed, if you knew a whole new language, if you learned about marine biology, if you learned how filmmaking works. It's all these different things. It's just about crunching it and putting as much energy as you can into it, and then you'll definitely get there. I do hope that you all enjoyed. The sun, I keep trying to move away from the sun no matter what I do, and it keeps finding me the further I move back. I do hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking, the sun, be talking to you all soon. See you.